I don't know. This is from you
India is also expanding their countries.
So when you Australian programs, there is
Sorry,
always
India is from June.
আমরা নেপালে এক্সপেরিয়েন্স করছি ইউনিভার্সাল
Hello. Okay.
একটা ফ্লাইট ওখান থেকে শুরু করবে তুমি করবে নাকি ম্যাডাম কি করাবে ম্যাডাম তো স্পন্স দিল বুঝলি আপনি করতে হবে
আপনিও করতে পারেন।
শেয়ার করে দিন হ্যাঁ পিপিটি করে দেবো এটা ইংলিশ হ্যাঁ ইংলিশ আপনি এখানেও দেখতে পারেন এই নিচে আছে শেয়ার করে দিন শেয়ার করে না এটা আগে থাক পিপিটি করে ঠিক আছে আমরা অন করে দেবো আপনি ঠিক আছে
আমি রেকর্ড করব।
আমি ওটা খুলবো বক্তৃতা দেবে সেটা খুলবো ব্যানারটা খুলবো স্টার্ট শেয়ার শেয়ার
I will tell. I'll move on to the next slide. You just check.
না ব্যানারটা খুলবো
I'll make a note. So,
Good morning. Thank you for joining the class. Welcome all of you here. I am Dr. Swandeep Pundar, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research and Innovation. So we have our proud pleasure, privilege to have Ms. Payal with us. And I request our Associate Professor Dr. Bixi to come over. All of you may know her. She is the Associate Professor of Faculty of Social Science, Arts and Humanities. And she also postgraduate coordinator for the faculty. So I am handing over the session to Madam Bixi. Thank you.
At the outset, thank you so much for joining us, all the students, the guests, both online and offline, other guests from India as well. So on behalf of our President, our Pro Vice Chancellor, our DDC Academic, our DDC Research and Innovation, and on my own behalf of our faculty, our Dean, Professor Zulkarnain, and we have our very esteemed guest from Kolkata, who's editor by herself of a very famous magazine, Sananda. I think you must have heard because most of your students are from Bangladesh as well, so you definitely must have known her. So I know for sure that she's going to be of great contribution to all of your thoughts on media, the challenges, the evolution, and how to fit into your own research programs and your future learning. So even though you're from different backgrounds, both some offline students, I hope you all have a very enriching session today. So once again, I thank the management for arranging such a very fruitful and enriching workshop and guest talk from our dear Madam Payal Sengupta. Over to you, Madam. Thank you so much for joining us.
First of all, I thank all of you for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of knowledge of my media. I belong to a person who from Kolkata, and I myself edit a magazine that is focused on basically on women. So here I am to share a little bit of my experience and little bit of my thought process. Uh,
Yeah.
Okay, little bit of my thought process to all of you. Okay, so my topic is media, the role, evolution, and challenges. Here is the slides. This is the topic. Okay, so first we need to know what media is. So I move on to my next slide. So where I explain what actually media is called. What is media? So it is basically media and mass
Madam,
communication.
The slide is blocking. You come this side. You see this and there.
Sorry.
So here as we have.
That's it. No, that one. Oh, yeah. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. So this is the short explanation of media, where I written that media and mass communication are the two words which are used together always. Why? The main reason for that is a common communication platform for people. It is a public conversation of their need, their demand, talk of the nuances of day-to-day life, the convenience, the inconvenience, and their expectation from their surrounding. It is the reflection of their mind as well. Media, is the plural form of medium. It is the medium of that discussion which cannot be confined into the four walls of the room. Into the four walls, there need a media. There need media for the outsourcing some information from outside. So media is a part of our day-to-day life. So I am moving on to my next slide, where I explain the role of media. What is the role of media? What media does for us? Media fulfills several basic roles in our society. As I said earlier, the most useful aspect of the media is the ability to act as a public forum. So public forum for which situations? Here is the situation. Public forum for political situation. That is the most important thing that is expected from people, from a media. That media will give you the day-to-day update of the political situation where you belong to. In a country, politics has a great influence on a day-to-day life. So we need to know what actually happening around us in the political situation, like the governmental work, the governmental activities, they are being criticized or they are being appreciated. We need to know all of this. So media does this work for us. Okay, the second we move on to the social condition. What is the social condition? This is our financial condition, our economy, our business, our education, and the incidents happening to our society. What makes us very concerning about our life? That is our social condition. Media makes us aware, makes this awareness for us about our social condition where we actually live. Then I move on to the next part, that is the entertainment quotient. What is entertainment quotient? We more or less know because the present situation where we stand, the entertainment quotient has increased so much that it comes at times in a controversial phase. So I'm not going to the controversy, I'm just explaining the entertainment is basically escapism from our day-to-day life. That is, we all live with the mundane monotony of our life. We need some relief from somewhere. Media gives us that relief. How? they talk about the film stars, they talk about the sports, they talk about the things that entertain us, that brings some kind of joy to us our life. So that is the entertainment quotient which media brings out for us. That is health and lifestyle, our next segment. How media helps in health. That may be the question. And for last 2 years pandemic, we all know how media helps us. We didn't have the opportunity, if media doesn't there, if we didn't have the opportunity to get to know worldwide situation of pandemic, what is happening, what is not happening, and this is how media helps us to giving you the information from the every corner of the world. This is the health related, and this is also a portion which affects our lifestyle too. This is in our day-to-day lifestyle. We need the health information. We need some kind of information, that is our travel information. That is the day-to-day train, bus information. Everything is there in media. That is our health and lifestyle. That also brings out media brings out us for me. And that is the last one, the leisure and the expression of yourself. Media has a segment in which you can express yourself. You cannot express your opinion into your room or in the street, but media is the medium. What actually going into your mind, that gives you the platform to express. Media is the platform where you can express your thoughts, what you actually talk about the society, where you actually talk about the government, where you actually talk about even of your neighbor. So media is the platform where you can express yourself. So these are the things basically media works on, and this is the role of media to bring out everything for the people in a public forum. Okay, so I move on to my next slide. That is the evolution part. So media has evolved so much that we all are aware of this. Media is not only the news, not only news. It's a life for us. So how it evolved? So we need to know a brief history for that. So here is the history. What I explained. Actually, in Britain, Johannes Gutenberg invented the publishing. So after that, the whole scenario has changed. The publishing industry has changed. So the modern newspaper, actually the European invention. The oldest direct handwritten sheet circulated widely in Venice as early 1566. The term newspaper became common in the 17th century in Germany. Publications that would they considered to be the newspaper publications were appearing as early as 16th century. The German and the Dutch people are very aggressive about the nutpaper thing. So they made a revolution in the newspaper industry. And 7th November 1655, London Gazette, or the earlier it was named like Oxford Gazette, began its publication. So move on to the next slide. In 1690, the first newspaper was published in North America. So you can see worldwide the scenario where the newspaper is coming out for people. And in my country, India, it's started at Kolkata. So it was in January 1718, Hickey's Bengal Gazette was published. That was the first newspaper in India. And in 1814, the Times has made a revolution. They have a technological progress. They acquired a printing press capable of making 1,100 impressions per hour, and this was soon adapted to print both sides of the page. that we now can see. This is the technological progress of print media. So I move on to the next slide. That is also a part of evolution, that we are not stuck into the print media only. We have emerged as an electronic media, as a digital media. So this is the evolution part 2. The emergence of electronic media commenced vastly after the discovery of radio 1895 by Marconi. With the due course of time, radio became the most powerful medium yet invented for spreading information and shaping public opinion. And the debut of television was long and complex process. American President Roosevelt's speech 1939 was reached by TRK 12, which was considered as a very premature version of television. And I must say, the Second World War situation, the Second World War has revolutionized the media industry, because Roosevelt has used radio so many times and with full efficiency at that time. So that was the electronic boom was there. And after that, for television, Philo-Taylor Farnsworth was the brain behind the New Age television, who developed method of scanning images and transmitting images. And after, with the due course of science and development, we got the new versions of television, and now we have reached the smart TV. And now TV we can operate through our hand. So this is the technological progress. And this technological progress has changed the shades of media also. So we are moving on to the next slide. That is, we move on to the digital media. So what is digital media? Digital media is the outcome of internet booming. So I am not going to the history how internet came, but this is digital media came only for internet. This particular communication media operates in conjunction with various encoded machine-enabled data formats. So we all know how digital media works for us. So now this includes social media, podcasts, websites, apps, games, and innumerable forms. And I would say it's evolving like this every day. We are finding a new form of digital media in our hand. So digital media is evolving. It's a day-to-day evolution is happening in the area of digital media. And this evolution was created the evolution of content also. So now I will discuss how the content of media has changed with the evolution of media. So I move on to the next slide. This is the part of evolution of content. Because now we all know we are not only stuck into a print media, we are not only using electronic media, we are also using digital media. So what would content? The same incident. See, I'm talking here that if that is the news, a print media is doing that news, a electronic media is doing that news, a digital media will do that news. So where will be the differences? So at that time when when media was started, the primary concern of the newspaper was to bring out the actual news for the people. So it was the assignment of print media to bringing out the news, actual news, actual content. That was the content for print media. But now what's happening? Now I am getting an incident in our hand within a second. So what is the call of print media then? Now print media has shifted its content to the analytics basis. They analyze the incident, and the next day we know the incident, how it happened, in investigation after the incident. We do not get from the electronic or the digital media. And the electronic media does the content of television and other electronic media was basically focused on the sharpness and the promptness of the news. When they are going to break out the story, when they are going to publish the story, that is the main concern for the electronic media. They cannot be late, because when the incident happens, they have to convey it to the public at then and there. And that is also applicable for the digital media too, because there is no competition between print media and electronic media now, but there is a silver line competition between the digital media and the electronic media. So, how in what media I am working and what media is going, what media and how to produce the news, that is very important. In which I am engaged to, if I am engaged to a print media, I have to think of how to present my content to the public. They can get something new from this news. And if I am in an electronic media, we need to know how to present this content, how promptly, how sharply. And if I am in a digital media, we need to how promptly, how sharply, and how handily, very shortly, so that they can understand the news by only one line or only one word or two, three, four words. It's very fast, very quickly. So this is the content evolution with the due course of media evolution. Once it was like only the news, something is happening, it's coming to the newspaper, the day after, so the next day morning. So now the total scenario has changed with the pace, with the space of human life, and also with the technological progress. So content has been also changed and evolved with the due course of evolution of media formats. So I move on to the next slide. That is what we are all discussing about media and the modern world. The progress of time and technology have created this space for media. New age, new media transform the space for media in the society to media industry. Because of the reasons, these are the reasons: socio-economic structure of a country and the employment generation and making business organization. And the second was the growing competition. So I'm going the first one first. That is the socio-economic structure, how it influences media to get a media space for media industry. Every country, we are used to the term media industry. How media has become the industry for us. We never knew before it, maybe 20, 25 years ago. But now the time has come when media is also called an industry, because that is the vastness and that the various aspects of media, they have evolved in such a way we must call them an industry. In first we need to know in which country we talk about media. Say for we know it's an industry, and their media is now formed for the employment generation also. The socio-economic structure is such like that the people need job there. People need to move their economy, and they use media for that, because they establish a media institution to get the make the employment generation and make business also. And this business thing is it's a very complex thing when it is linked to a company, when linked to media. So business means something, business means economic, business means money. So the core aspect of media, what it was once upon a time, that it will bring out the true picture of your life, true picture of your public life. That is somehow there is a chance to get compromised if business is attached to the media industry. But this is the reality. You cannot avoid this. Business has to be there. If business brings the business also. So we have to keep the balance. If we work in a if you work in a media industry, in a media institution, it's a big media institution where it acts like a very big where we get business simultaneously. So this is the thing. This is a very very complex thing. I think it would get better if you go for a work, you get a job in a media industry. That will be the practical experience for you. What I'm trying to say here and trying to explain for you, that for giving you for making in a very simplistic way, say the media industry is you are working in a media company that is owned by a very big businessman, but he or she wants to portray his news on this publication, but this is not, you understand that this is not the news to be published so promptly, so hugely. So this is the conflict. It happens when you work for the business organization which is related to the media industry. So it happens the social economic structure is responsible for that. When you need job, when you need so much of money for the people, for your society, for your country's economy, then it happens sometimes that the media is also get a part of the whole economical structure. And the growing competition, the next part. So many medias. So what will make you first? That is the competition. So everybody is doing the same news at the same time. So what X factor will you put for the news? So that is the competition winning thing in this media industry. The media has, there is innumerable shares of media in the current world. As I said, there are apps, there are website, there are social platforms, there are electronic media, and there is also print media exists. Though the existence of print media is somehow is getting challenged with the booming technology, but they exist. But so competition is also there. So you are, if you work for a digital media, you need to know that how I become the first one and how I will be different from the others. So that is the competition you have to face in the day-to-day media industry. If you work for the media in your and in your daily life, if you work for, if you study, even if you study in media industry. So this competition is very very much increasing right now, and it's grasping the media life so far. So I move on to the next slide. That is facing challenges. So for the facing challenges, two or things I have already highlighted. That the first one, the competition and the quality of the content. Yes, this is very important. When we are in a competition and we are producing some news, we have the hurry within us that I have to be the first one. Then I need to know the quality of the news, quality of the story, what I am producing. If for meeting my deadline, meeting my time target, making myself fast, if I compromise the quality of the content, that will be harmful for the media. It happens because the same thing, the same incidents, same stories, same things are covering the every media. Electron TV is covering that. This is some accident. TV is covering that. Print media will cover the next day. Digital media is also covering. So, how will you produce the quality of the news? You cannot say only the accident happened this area and by this way. It's not the thing. You have to give some innovative thing that, say for example, there a car accident. We have to know the detail of the car. What is the condition of the car? What was the condition of the car at that time? Is it a new car? Is it a very old car? Is it a pollution-free car? We need to how far you go to the detail, how far you go to the depth of the incident, your quality will increase. The content of your the quality of your content will increase. Also, the sustainability of a news. So we also many times see that one time an incident happens, we don't get the follow-ups. So today say for human trafficking, today incident of human trafficking has happened. The 2 days, the media will talk about the situation. But the third day, you won't get the follow-up report, but what actually happened 3 days earlier. So, the sustainability of news is compromising somewhere because of our eagerness to meet our deadline. So, this is somehow the sustainability of news is somewhere compromised. So we, if a good news story, a good news, I'm going to produce a good news story and a good news, then the sustainability of a news is very, very important. That at least minimum for go to the depth of time and you study the thing very deeply. So that will increase the sustainability. Was invented. It was a very honest and very clear invention of media for people, for the people. Actually, what we say for the democracy, that for the people, by the people, media was also like that, for the people, by the people, when it was started. But now, when the business came, when it has become the industry, when it is related to the social economical structure, when it is influencing the country's political structure also, this time you need to know the content justification, how to do it, the content justification. You need to give thought about the content justification, but what you are going to say, you always have the pressure that doing some kind of content for some kind of profit for any organization. But there can come a ideological conflict between yourself and your job. That you are doing something for your job, but you cannot support within yourself. Then you have to do the content justification very boldly, and you have to think about the think and rethink about what you are saying. And you have to keep a balance because job is also necessary, and every money is also a requirement. So you have to keep a balance between your ideology and what you are producing. So that actually means the content justification and the business orientation. Say for example, in a very simplistic way, I work for a women magazine. So I face also a constant pressure of constant pressure of expressing the pros and cons of beauty products. But I myself do not believe all the time that if you talking about women, you all the time you have to talk about the beauty products or the beauty structure, the standard beauty structure we are seeing. That is the conflict between when the business and the editorial mind. When you do a job in a media industry, you have to keep a very silver lining, a very well balanced mentality to maintain on this. That is the sustainability of yourself and the success also. And the conflict between social responsibility and profit loss game of an institution. Of course, yes, it is because that is this line basically came from my experience in my country, because it sometimes happens that you are doing something, a social cause. There is something some kind of news like very openly said. Something about the deprivation of women, some news about the deprivation of women between social responsibility, like that what we want, we are giving you the money, so what we want, that will you will write about that thing also. So there is a, but you feel that you have to write about the other thing. So that is the conflict, that is the business orientation of the institution, that is the profit loss game. That some kind of people can say that this will make us profit. This news will make more advertisement to the industry, to my publication, more advertisement, more money. So you have to keep a balance. You have to you cannot repeat the same content as it becomes the money earning thing, you cannot repeat the same content day in and day out. Say you are talking about a sunscreen cream. See, you are writing something as because it brings the advertisement. You cannot tell about 7 days that the same thing. Because you cannot describe what sunscreen is for the 7 days continuously. So there is the conflict always happens, but there is a way to escape. There is also a way for balancing all these things. So these are the challenges the new media industry is facing day in and day out. So these are the challenges, more or less. And when you go to the first hand to get a first hand job and you will get the first hand experience, you will face more challenges that is not very generic. So it is, I think your mind should be very clear what is the conflict and your passion. Okay, so I have already moved to the last part of it. So these are the key takeaways. What I feel, media fulfills several roles in the society, including the following: right, entertaining and providing an outlet for imagination that we already discussed about it, educating and informing us, the day-to-day life information we get to know from media only, serving as a public forum for the discussion of important issues and acting as a watchdog for government, business, and other institutions. I think these are clear now, how media works for us. And as the evolution, the Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the printing press enabled the mass production of media, which was then industrialized by Frederick Way in the early 1800s, the 19th century. These innovations led to the daily newspaper, which united the urbanized, industrialized populations of the 19th century. In the 20th century, radio allowed advertisers to reach a mass audience and help spark the consumerism of the 1920s. Consumerism, as we are talking about, the consumerism, the advertisement, provoking people for buying something, for uh, some evoke some thoughts about the consumer thing, the FMCG things, and the other things, the property things. That is consumerism that related to our day-to-day life. Media is related to our day-to-day life, and the consumerism also related to our day-to-day life. So the industry used media to get their pull from through this media, through this news. So that is the consumerism that actually began in 1920s. The Great Depression, we all know it was the post First World War and the previous situation of the Second World War. After the World War II, the television boom, as I said, the Roosevelt was responsible for that, whom the United States brought, though its connection in the hands of three major networks led to accusations of homogenization. That is a homogeneous media of electronic media, this is radio and television. That is the homogeneous. The spread of cable and subsequent deregulation in the 1980s and 1990s led to more channels, but not necessarily to more diverse ownership. Yes, more channels, because is not more to diverse ownership, that because of the social economical structure. Many people were not able to acquire television, acquire radio, so the ownerships are diverse. But not so diverse, it's only constructed into a particular social economic group. It is difficult to say whether technology caused a cultural shift or resulted from it. The ability to make technology small and affordable enough to fit into the home is an important aspect of the popularization of these technologies. that we all know. We need to get in our hand right now, in our mobile, so in our fingers. Up with that service also, they are making content for that. What will in for the moment, for the second, we need variation. So content is also getting varied. The quality of the content is getting compromised, but never matter if we need in a second to second update, then the quality cannot be maintained. So I go to the conclusion part of this. Uh, that is two things we need to remember for this. That is the enforcement of people's trust. That's what uh, that's what actually invented media. Some intellectual people of the society who thought about this, who thought about a public forum, who thought about the reflection of public mind should be expressed like a way. They invented media. So thus media invented. So people trusted media. People still have the trust on the media that media can do something for the people, even if the governmental body is not helping us. Even in the neighbor, even in my own family, man does not help us. Media can help you. If you are tortured in your house, you can go to the media. If you are getting some obstacles for the party people, for the government, you can go to the media. Media is basically built up on the people's trust. So it's very necessary to enforce people's trust in our day-to-day life. Whatever is the form of media, whatever is the shade of media, whatever is the technological advancement, I think people trust on media is the basic build-up of media. So it's very necessary. When the trust is gone, the whole industry is gone. Making clarity and communication. Yes, that people expect from the media. That's a clear and communicative communication. This is very clear. The clarity of information, that is the clairvoyance of your mind, and very in a very communicative way, in a very spontaneous, in a very prompt, in a very quick, in a very useful way. People expect that media will give you the information that you require to lead your life, to move in your life, to progress in your life. So that is the expectation of people from the media. So I conclude here, whatever is the form is now media is, whatever is the challenges we face, we have to keep up the people trust on media, and we have to deliver and very clear cut and very cleaning, very communicative conversation through media to the people. So thank you. And if you have
Yeah, please let's
any
open
doubt,
this forum for question and answer. Students, we have students from social work background, so they also can find out how they can connect their work with magazines or any other form of media. So I think we can ask questions from social work students. Do you have any questions?
It's actually social workers, so mostly we
Just
just
get
get
a
a social. I'm from the Master of Social Work program. Actually, social work also deal with the media. That is, media play major role in the social work settings also. From these sessions, I also got information regarding the media and how important media to face our issues like this. Actually, some magazine also useful with the social work settings. And thank you so much.
so I would like to ask you a question that if you face any challenge, if you bring out any news for the media, or if you want that these news should be published in the media, do you face any challenge as you are very attached to the social work?
Yes, sometimes because social work is mainly dealing with the human behaviors and human actions. Sometimes we are facing some issues. Social workers also mainly working as social activists. At that time, some people's attitudes are different, one-to-one, different professions. At that time, we have to focus on every professions and their mindset. If we are addressing one community, we have to think about their mindset. As an example, when we are talking about the LGBTQ community,
Yes, yes.
we must focus on the other background also, because religious background and other cultural background also. At that time, we are facing
The
a lot of
conflict
issues.
began. Actually,
Yeah.
the people are not so open to accept all this.
Yeah, sometimes.
But you have the urge to focus it or to express it. So these are the conflict I was trying to talking about. So these are the issues that happen when you have the